How are charges brought about in the state of Illinois?
For a felony charge, there's typically two ways of bringing a charge. You can have a detective go to the state's attorney's office. They'll agree on what the appropriate charge is. The detective then takes what's called an information to the judge. The judge will review it, ask the detective some questions. The defendant has an opportunity at a preliminary hearing. He has an attorney, and the detective is there, and his attorney can ask the detective questions about the charges.
What is the difference between a grand jury and a preliminary hearing?
And a grand jury is a panel of jurors who come in, they're sworn to secrecy. Grand jurors only hear the state's evidence. They don't hear any evidence from the defendant. They then decide whether or not to indict the defendant. It's all secret with the grand jury. There's a court reporter there, so theoretically, a defendant would get a transcript of what was said at the grand jury, but there's a cost to that. An analysis was done by a retired judge here in Rock Island County, and he estimated the annual cost to taxpayers to be $35,000 a year. That's a lot of money.
In your opinion, what do you feel is better?
I think it is better to have the detective go to the state's attorney's office, go to the judge, then the defendant has a preliminary hearing, and that's how I would do the vast majority of cases if I were state's attorney. I think it's a little bit more fair to the defendant.
Would you have a policy for only using the grand jury?
There's always a place for a grand jury, but I think to charge everything by grand jury just kind of sounds like a solution looking for a problem. Thanks.